The doors to the Cleveland Browns quarterback room didn't just open, they detonated. The slam echoed down the hallway, snapping every head toward the sound as Shedeur Sanders stormed inside with a look that made the entire room stop breathing. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Because everyone inside that building already knew a moment like this was coming. They just didn't know it would be today. It all started with a single comment during a quiet film session, a harmless discussion about the Raiders' win that suddenly turned toxic. Dillon Gabriel broke down a defensive play, praised the pass rush, nodded at the secondary for holding strong. That was fine. But then, he added something that froze the room solid. Something about Shedeur only being on the field because Gabriel got hurt. Something about the job still belonging to him. Something that implied Shedeur hadn't earned anything. Chairs stopped creaking. Pens stopped clicking. You could feel the air shift as Shedeur slowly turned, stared directly at Gabriel, and delivered 5 words that sliced through the silence like a razor. Don't ever disrespect me. He didn't yell. He didn't flex. He didn't even blink. He just stood up with a calmness that was somehow more unsettling than any screaming match. Every player in that room felt it. This wasn't a rookie defending his pride. This was someone drawing a line in permanent marker. The confrontation lasted less than 2 minutes, but the fallout detonated instantly. And the truth is, this wasn't random. This moment had been brewing since April. Because the very second the Browns drafted both quarterbacks on the same night, the rivalry was born. Gabriel was the 3rd-round pick, the polished veteran college QB with the experience coaches trusted. He was supposed to be the guy. And then, out of nowhere, in the 5th round, the name Shedeur Sanders hit the screen. And everything inside that building flipped upside down. It didn't matter what the draft board said. It didn't matter what the coaches planned. It didn't matter who was more NFL ready. One quarterback came with a father who is literally football royalty. One came with a fan base that treated every practice rep like a presidential vote. One came with cameras following his every step, from the moment he walked into the facility. Gabriel never stood a chance, and the tension never left. It just stayed hidden, until Baltimore changed the entire season. Gabriel gets concussed, Shedeur gets thrown into the fire, and the result is one of the roughest rookie stat lines the Browns have ever seen. 4 completions, 16 attempts, 47 yards, an interception. A passer rating that analysts were laughing at on live TV. Everyone said Shedeur wasn't ready. Everyone said the hype was over. But then came Las Vegas, and that's when the firestorm started. Shedeur didn't just bounce back, he detonated. He launched a 52-yard missile to Isaiah Bond that reminded every scout why he was once projected as a first-rounder. He dropped a perfect strike to Jerry Jeudy, who lost it because he was too busy showboating. And then he unleashed a 66-yard touchdown to Dillon Sampson that sealed the win and snapped a decades-long rookie curse. The locker room lit up. The fan base went crazy. Social media melted. And in the middle of it all, head coach Kevin Stefanski barely blinked. No game ball, no spotlight. Barely 2 seconds of praise in the post-game speech. That moment wasn't missed by the locker room, social media, Dillon Sanders, or Shedeur himself. And when you mix that with months of tension, weeks of whispers, and a quarterback room divided since training camp, it was only a matter of time before someone finally snapped. Gabriel wasn't backing down either. He fired back with something about one good game not earning anyone a starting job, and that's when every player in that room realized this wasn't just a disagreement. This was a fault line splitting open right under the franchise. Players stepped in, coaches rushed the room, Stefanski was inside within minutes. Both quarterbacks were in separate meetings an hour later. Official team statement, no comment on internal matters. Unofficial team reality. They've got a disaster on their hands and everyone knows it. And the scariest part? The confrontation wasn't the start of the problem. It was the warning shot. Behind the scenes, the situation has been boiling for weeks, and the locker room has been anything but quiet about it. Players talk, staffers whisper, reporters get texts, and every signal pointed in the same direction. The team was slowly drifting away from Gabriel and toward Shedeur. Robert Griffin III said it on national television. A Browns player reportedly told a journalist he was done with Gabriel. And week after week, the body language, the chemistry, and the energy all leaned toward one outcome. The locker room had already chosen its quarterback. Gabriel felt it, Shedeur felt it, and the coaching staff definitely felt it, even if they refused to admit it, and that's when things really began unraveling. Coaches started altering meeting schedules just to keep the two quarterbacks apart. They split reps, they separated sessions, they rearranged practice periods so Gabriel and Shedeur wouldn't have to stand next to each other. Quarterback rooms are supposed to be the tightest unit on the team. 3 or 4 guys who study together, grind together, support each other, live in the same mental world. Instead, Cleveland ended up with 2 rookies who couldn't even be in the same room without someone stepping between them. Both quarterbacks believe they're right. Gabriel believes he earned the job. He took the first team reps. He learned the system for months. He protected the football. He stayed patient. And he put in the work. Meanwhile, Shedeur believes he was never given a fair shot. He got no first team reps for 11 weeks. He was thrown into the Ravens game with 0 preparation. He was set up to fail. And the second he got a real opportunity, he delivered the only stat that matters: a win. Both sides have a point. Neither side is backing down. And the Browns, stuck at 3-8, heading into a meaningless stretch of the season, now have to evaluate their future with 2 rookies who can't stand the sight of each other. And if you think the pressure is coming only from inside the building, think again. Dillon Sanders posted after the Raiders game, making it clear he's watching how the Browns treat his son. Celebrities chimed in. Donald Trump congratulated Shedeur publicly. The spotlight grew bigger, the expectations got heavier, and the tension got hotter. When Shedeur runs onto the field against San Francisco, the stadium will erupt. Fans have been waiting for this moment since draft night. They'll scream his name, they'll wear his jersey, they'll believe they're watching the start of the franchise's future. And somewhere behind him, clipboard in hand, Dillon Gabriel will be standing on the sideline, watching everything he thought he earned slip away, feeling the weight of every cheer that isn't for him. The Browns wanted a quarterback competition. Instead, they ignited a full-blown war. A war between 2 rookies fighting for identity, respect, and the future of a franchise desperate for a savior. And with 4 games left, a fractured locker room, a coach under pressure, and a fan base divided, the next explosion won't come from a slammed door. It's going to come from the field. But the wildest part of this entire situation isn't the confrontation, the film room tension, or even the split locker room. It's the fact that the Browns now find themselves standing at the edge of a decision that could change the next 5 to 10 years of their franchise, and nobody inside that building can agree on what the right move even looks like. The front office wants answers, the coaches want stability, the players want leadership, the fan base wants a savior, and both rookies think they're the one who can deliver it. The problem is, the Browns accidentally created a storm they were never prepared to manage. Because once you bring in 2 young quarterbacks with starting-level confidence, you're not building depth. You're building competition, ego, and insecurity. And with the season spiraling and emotions at an all-time high, that competition has turned into a silent Cold War spreading through the entire facility. The offensive line has split quietly down the middle. Some players prefer Gabriel because he's calm, predictable, and runs the offense safely. Others want Shedeur because he's bold, explosive, and brings energy the team hasn't felt in years. The receivers clearly play differently depending on who's under center. There's a visible spark when Shedeur steps into the huddle, a shift in confidence, a feeling of possibility. And that difference matters. It matters in practice. It matters in games. It matters in how guys talk in the locker room, how they stand during walkthroughs, how they respond during tough moments. And more than anything, it matters in the long-term picture the Browns keep pretending they don't see. Meanwhile, the coaching staff is feeling the pressure more than anyone. Stefanski knows every decision he makes now will be held against him later. If he commits to Gabriel and Shedeur explodes into a star, he'll be labeled the man who slowed down a franchise quarterback. If he commits to Shedeur and Gabriel succeeds elsewhere, he'll be the coach who lost a young, steady, NFL-ready talent. And the truth most fans don't realize is this: Stefanski is coaching for his job. He can't afford to gamble. He can't afford to make a mistake. He can't afford another losing streak with the franchise breathing down his neck. And you better believe the players feel that pressure too. Leadership becomes unstable. Trust erodes. Everyone starts looking over their shoulder. And that's how locker rooms collapse from the inside. This isn't the first time a team has dealt with a quarterback controversy. But this situation is different because it's fueled by things football can't fix: pride, legacy, pressure, family expectations, media narratives, fan obsession. And the sense that the Browns aren't just choosing a quarterback, They're choosing the future face of the franchise. When Shedeur walks into the building, cameras follow. When he drops a quote, it hits every sports page in minutes. When he completes a big pass, social media explodes. When Gabriel does the same, it barely trends for an hour. That imbalance doesn't just create tension, it creates resentment, and resentment spreads fast. Inside the building, the staff has already started talking about what happens in the offseason. Trades, new quarterback coaches, rebuilt offensive systems, open competition. Maybe even drafting a third quarterback if neither rookie grabs control. It sounds extreme, but the Browns are running out of time. They need clarity, they need direction. And right now, they're getting the exact opposite. All eyes are on Sunday. Not because the game matters in the standings, but because what happens between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel could determine whether this becomes a quarterback controversy or an organizational collapse. One great performance could swing the entire future. One bad decision could ignite another firestorm. One miscommunication could fracture the locker room even deeper. This isn't just a battle between two players. It's a franchise standing on unstable ground, hoping the next step doesn't send everything crashing down. And the craziest part? Everyone inside that building knows the next chapter is going to be even louder.